A study from the University of North Carolina says nearly 80% of Americans will experience an episode of lower back pain at some point in their lives. Joining me now with tips on how to prevent back pain is Dr. Richard Busch with Busch Chiropractic. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
As we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, we're going to be on our feet a lot. So what are some of the warning signs of back pain?
Well, so often we play, management of problems later on as opposed to actually doing a more proactive type of an approach. And so, a lot of people have that chronic lower back pain or the chronic neck pain or even some of the radicular radiating pains that they may have, and they don't pay attention to them. And what we found is it's a lot easier for us to actually help those patients avoid problems later on if we actually just start to manage them a little bit sooner rather than waiting until it really becomes a problem. And what we've also found is that if we can actually manage them earlier, we can help them avoid where those problems become to a point where they need to actually start addressing things like with the DRS protocol or even surgery later on, if they get to a point where none of that stuff can be managed conservatively anymore.
So then what are some of those tips for avoiding that back pain and getting the
Well, some of the biggest tips are, first of all, get yourself back into shape. Make sure you're actually looking at yourself from a physical standpoint and making yourself more healthy. Again, in chiropractic, we actually are looking to help manage and avoid these problems later on. We want to help manage and make sure that our core is stronger and that our hamstrings are looser. So things like yoga and other stretching programs can help. Correcting our posture, it sounds kind of crazy, but even little things like that put a lot of pressure on our spine. And then along with that, making sure that we're lifting correctly. During this time of year, we're always lifting more than we should. We're not paying attention to it, and we always have a tendency to actually overdo and can cause more problems than we can help. And then finally, I think the biggest thing is making sure that weekend warrior type of a mentality is actually avoided, because if we overdo it when we're doing a lot of the things that we like to do that are just regular athletic activities when we're around our friends or our family while we're playing catch in the front yard, we have a tendency to cause more problems than we actually help manage, and then later on we have to address them properly as well.
So what would be a real big sign, right, quickly, of when you need to go see the doctor?
Well, the biggest sign is when you start to see pain. Okay, or you're limiting your mobility because of the discomfort that you're feeling. These chronic muscle spasms that people have, headaches, those are all indications that something isn't right. Those are symptoms. And very often anymore, we found that, kind of like the oil light in your car comes on and you decide to take out a piece of tape and cover it up just because you don't want to deal with it today. Those are all indications that we should be doing something to actually help manage that, and that's what we can do from a chiropractic standpoint as well.
Good to remember. Listen to our bodies. Dr. Busch, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
You can find more about Busch Chiropractic by calling the number there on your screen.